Hello and welcome everyone to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the top teams in the Ultra League Premier Cup. This cup is used to be like the main Ultra League Cup back in season 6, I think, 7 and 8, and somehow they stopped giving us this cup because people were complaining that this cup is very XL weighted. But now, come on, every cup is XL weighted, so it's not even a point anymore. So this cup is basically Pokemon must be 2500 CP, it's Ultra League format. Legendary, Mythical, and Ultra Beasts are not eligible. But for this here, if you're watching the video, I am sure 100% that you can use those for like the first 30 minutes. Why? Because do you think Niantic is gonna check? I don't think so. So the Ultra Beast, Buzzwole, and these stuff, make sure to use them like literally the first hour because they will be eligible and they have to do it manually. And I believe they haven't done it for once. So Buzzwole, Tapu Fini, Tapu Blulo, Lulo, those stuff, use them like the first 30 minutes. They will be eligible. And Buzzwole is actually a solid Pokemon in that format. Pokemon that have been powered by using XL are eligible. I know that I don't need to say this, but I'm saying it here because this cup is the most XL weighted. So how do you build a team in this cup? You type Candy XL and you choose 3 random Pokemons that is around 2500 CP. This cup is going to start November 10th until the 17th. So technically we have 1 week. Let's move and talk about the main Pokemons in this cup. So there is so many good options in this cup. And that's why this cup is like very versatile. Like just because a Pokemon is Steel doesn't mean it's good. But just because it's XL, it's good. Okay. Some Pokemons like are dominant leads because they are spammy. Other Pokemon can shine in this swap, and there is some Pokemons that are literally good everywhere. As an example, Scrafty is a solid lead. And there was lots of people who used to safe swap Scrafty in this cup specifically. And they were good at bringing back Alola Ninetale to the meta. And then Alola Ninetale became the most broken Pokemon back when Wither Ball was like the greatest move in the game. Como is just a bad Dragonite or a bulkier Dragonite. So those two are kind of the same. They do the same purpose, but this one doesn't tank moves. Como can tank moves. Dragonite hits much harder. Como lives longer and has close combat over superpower. Both hits the steel hard enough, okay? But Como doesn't have Rock Slide weakness, so G-Fisk has to commit to the EQ. Where versus Dragonite, they can just spam Rock Slides. Alola Ninetale is good at countering those Scrafty because Scrafty is the best Pokemon in this cup. Scrafty and Nidoqueen. Scrafty, Nido. Those two, I mean, they were the best two Pokemons because nothing could... This is the cup where Nidoqueen Double Dark became a thing. And then A9 was good because it counters the dark. Obstagoon is a budget Scrafty. If you don't have Scrafty, you can use Obstagoon. Shadow Machop, I don't know why I'm mentioning it. There were literally 2 people who were using Shadow Machop. To be honest, 3. Doombug, Dialab, and Wholesome. Those are the only 3 people I could tell that they were using Shadow Machop. Trevenant wasn't added back in the days when this cup was a thing. And Trev now is a thing. And I believe Trev is the best Pokemon in this cup. Why? Because Trevenant is amazing. It doesn't get walled by anything. Sylveon is a Charmer that wasn't in the game back in the days, and I believe it's a solid Charmer now because it doesn't have the Rock Slide weakness, which A9 has. Dragonite, we talked about it. Now back to the safe swaps. Safe swaps are generally like Pokemons that do not get walled by anything, and they have decent bulk where they can grab a shield advantage in some specific scenarios, such as extra fast move, such as having wild, a versatile moveset where they can hit everything for a neutral at least, and their charge move just cover everything. A Pokemon is like that is Stunfisk, but Stunfisk is a generalist because Stunfisk beats everything in this cup. Stunfisk is the greatest Pokemon in the game, okay? I know some people might say Registeel, but no, Stunfisk is. There is no Pokemon that flipped the meta upside down the way Stunfisk did. But yeah, Jellicent used to be one of the best swaps because with Bubble, Ice Beam, Jellicent, Mandibuzz isn't as annoying and you can still hit Mandibuzz back. And most Mandibuzz run Air Slash, so technically both get the move at the same time. but you win CMP, you swap first, technically you're one fast move ahead. Snorlax is just a budget XL because it's very bulky and it doesn't need the XL. Double. Am I saying the name right? Dwobble? What is Smash King to correct me? Dwobble is like the Pokemon now. Dubwall. Okay, the sheep. Okay, the sheep. Dublol. So the sheep is probably like the best safe swap because it has double kick, body slam, wild charge, payback. So you can literally run any moveset on this Pokemon. Body slam with either wild charge in the lead or payback in the swap in case they counter swapped you with a steal. And it's an amazing Pokemon, by the way. So the cow is, I think the cow is a bad version of Double because it has almost the same coverage but with a less favorable fast move. Yes, tackle is amazing, but this cup is basically dominant by Scrafty, Ghost, and Dark, and Steel. So having a normal fast move is not the greatest option, but having a normal type with a fighting fast move is good because you can hit Scrafty with super effective, and Body Slam is better than Power Up Punch, and you can hit Stunfisk, also super effective move, and you're bulky enough to tank 2 Earthquakes. Now chat's gonna go check. I'm gonna go and check and be like, oh yeah, so by the way, it dies to 2 EQs. Coffin. I don't know why I have Coffin. Like, Coffin is a great Pokemon, but I don't think Coffin is gonna work in this cup because there is so many dark Pokemons in this cup. There's so many Scrafty, so many Mandibuzz, so many Drapion. Drapion, we didn't have it back in the days because no one had a Drapion, but now everyone has a Drapion, right? Escab. Escab was like the budget safe swap that most people who didn't have XLs used to use. Because it's a steel Pokemon that can beat G-Fisk, hits Mandibuzz with neutral counter, and Mega Horn, which does like 60% to Mandibuzz. So technically, if Escab land the Mega Horn, you can win the 2 versus Mandibuzz. So Escab is good as long as you don't get toasted by a Talonflame. That's the only Pokemon that can just destroy Escab. Swampert is just a Swampert, a Pokemon that's good everywhere, and people who like Swampert, they will always use a Swampert. But to be honest, the Swampert wasn't the greatest Pokemon there because it only used to beat Stunfisk and lose to Politoed, and Politoed became huge, but Politoed now is nerfed, it's not as good. So I'm not expecting to see that many Swampert, but that doesn't mean Swampert is bad. Swampert was never bad and will never be bad. Shadow Walrein is just Shadow Walrein, a great Pokemon, best coverage in the entire game. Probably after G-Fisk because of the nerf to the Icicle Spear. But yeah, how to make a team? You pick a lead, you pick a swap, you pick a generalist. Or you pick 2 generalists and 1 safe swap. Or you just pick 3 random Pokemon from this that are XLs. XLs. Don't be like, Yasser, I have a Hundo Nidoqueen. Is that good enough? I mean, depend on your elo. Do you want to push for Legend? Then no. You need XL one. Why? Because there is literally 18 more power-ups just for Nidoqueen, the difference between a Hundo and the XL. That's like probably 10 more HP and 10 more defense. So you take like 5% less damage from charge move. You take 1 less damage from every fast move they do. And that means you're gonna live longer to throw another charge move. So that's why XLs are broken. Is you just get like a different level of bulk. These are like the main Pokemons, and there is like some Pokemons I put as anti-meta because they aren't as good as those, but they could be good enough. One of those is Gliscor, because Gliscor was the only Pokemon that could reliably beat G-Fisk, Scrafty Core, because the only other Pokemon that can do it was Politoed, but Politoed got nerfed, and then Gliscor became the Pokemon. It's not as reliable of a win as it may sound, because a Gliscor, if Scrafty shield the EQ, Scrafty can beat Gliscor, by the way. So Politoed used to be like the main meta, the main Pokemon in the meta. It fell off after the nerf to Wither Ball. Same for Obama Snow. They lack the damage after the Wither Ball nerf. Ferrothorn, I remember I used to use it because everyone was using Jellicent, Stunfisk, and Politoed. And this is basically the only Pokemon that can beat all of these three. The Stunfisk matchup is scuffed because if Pharaoh shield an Earthquake, Pharaoh win the one. If Pharaoh doesn't shield an Earthquake, Pharaoh lose. A Skunk is just a Pokemon that's XL. And again, this cup appreciate the bulk. So the more XLs, the better. Typhlosion is like the best budget Pokemon. A Pokemon that's not XL, but hits too hard and is decent enough. So let me put it there. Those two are not XLs, but they are viable options. Greedent, it should be a main meta Pokemon, but I didn't put it there because I think Dwobble and Snorlax are much better. By much better, I mean slightly better, because this thing is still good. Steelix, if you have a Shadow one from the next event that we haven't got yet, which should be live in 3 days, I think, or 2 days, is an amazing Pokemon if you have the Shadow. The non-Shadow just doesn't hit. It's just too bulky, but doesn't do damage. Hopefully the Shadow one can make it like, can become like an upgraded version. 6 days? Okay, I see. So the Pokemon I want to mention here, and I feel like is the best anti-meta Pokemon, is the Squid. Tentacruel. Why? Because Tentacruel can beat Nidoqueen and can beat Scrafty, and Nidoqueen Scrafty was probably like the biggest core in the entire Ultra League Premier Cup, and this is one of very few Pokemons that can beat both. Scrafty, Nido is fine with his Stunfisk, Copium, but it's fine, not the worst. But yeah, it's actually a very solid Pokemon. I don't have a level 51 yet. I think I have the XLs, but I didn't check whether I have a good one or no. Pyroswine is just a budget Stunfisk. That's also level 50, by the way. You need to be level 50. But not everyone has a Hundo Stunfisk, so if you don't have a Hundo Stunfisk, Pyroswine could be an option to use. Like, don't sleep on it. It's actually good. That's Jellyfish, not a Squid. Okay, thank you, Pogo fan, for correcting me. And there is some people that said Excadrill is a budget Stunfisk. I don't think it's a budget, and I don't think it replaces G-Fisk. But there was a what's his name? J-Jan. J-Jan used to play Politoed, Stunfisk. No, Swampert, Stunfisk, and Excadrill. 3 Mudshot users, basically. And he used to use a Stunfisk to bait out the counter users and then finish the game with the Snow with the... Then kill them with Swampert and then finish the game with this thing. Drifloon is like a very interesting option. It can beat Stunfisk, by the way, if you land the Shadow Ball and they shield the Icy Wind. If you do both, you can beat Stunfisk because they need 2 Rock Slides, and the moment they start shielding, you win the game. Dragalge is very good as long as you dodge the Stunfisk. If you don't dodge Stunfisk, you lose. Pidgeot is just there, very XL Pokemon, and it's good, not gonna lie. Meganium is very XL. Meganium can beat everything that doesn't fly. So always be like this. If you want to use Meganium, you just put 2 anti-flyers. So Meganium with Nidoqueen, because Nidoqueen beats everything, flyers or non-flyers, it doesn't matter, the queen doesn't care, right? Some spicy options I have here: Surfetch, Primeape. There's like a very hard-hitting Pokemons, but they don't have any bulk, basically. Mew is legendary Pokemon and mythical, so not legal. Noctowl, because I know some people like made one. Pelipper, bad Gyarados. Mew and Lugia are banned. Yes, so we're deleting this. So Magnezone, I remember Rise to Occasion used to use Magnezone as like the Jellicent Mandibuzz answer. So it's a good option, by the way. Lantern is also a good spicy pick. Yes, it's very XL, but it's an option. Use it, use it. Vigoroth, because I remember what's his name, Pokegains used to use XL Vigoroth in this cup because he liked Vigoroth. And Heracross, what's the good thing about Heracross is it's a counter user, right? So this is an honorable mention to my friend Pokegains for making Vigoroth meta, and there was only one person who was convinced that it's good. It was Pokegains, no one else. No one believed him. Heracross breaks the Scrafty G-Fisk core. Yeah, but there is like a Mandibuzz with them. There is a Jellicent with them. So if you don't align it, you pretty much lose. And G-Fisk, I wouldn't say G-Fisk is bad versus Heracross. Because if you shield a close combat, you kill within like literally 2 rock slides. So it's like, it becomes like, who's the counter now? And G-Fisk is very bulky. Like the counter almost doesn't add up. Like you need counter and you need like to hit with a super effective fast move. Also spawn in Michigan. Yes, Aragon said he got his Heracross in Michigan. Okay, now moving into the top teams and the Ultra League Premier meta. So the best team according to Mr. PvPoke, you can call him Mr. PvPoke, Matt, or the website PvPoke. Okay, the best team according to PvPoke is top 3 PvPoke. Yeah, so this team is basically top 3 PvPoke. Cherry Asian, this is your team. Travelant, Scrafty, what's this? And Steelix. What does Steelix do? It's top 3 PvPoke. That's what it does. Okay. This team kinda struggled versus Typhlosion, but it's manageable. Why? Because Typhlosion runs Shadow Claw, which is Scrafty resist, and this thing all taking neutral. The Blast Burn does so much damage, and it's kinda annoying. And by the way, Jellicent is not an answer to Typhlosion because Typhlosion can beat Jellicent literally straight Blast Burn. You don't even need to throw the Solar Beam. This was the problem that everyone was doing. Like everyone was throwing the Solar Beam and people used to think that they need to land the Solar Beam versus Jellicent to him, but no. You can literally kill with 2 Blast Burns and the Shadow Claw damage will add up and finish it there. And usually like Jellicent people used to run Hex, Bubble Beam, so if they have Hex, you just win. If they have Bubble, it's a bit towards, but it's manageable. So this is like the top 3 PvPoke, but if you choose a Swampert, this is what PvPoke will suggest. Heracross, Swampert, Steelix. But the problem with this team is that it loses to 1 Trevenant, so don't use this team, okay? This is like what the algorithm recommended on PvPoke.com, and it's the same algorithm that recommended this one, but these teams are expected to be good, but they aren't supposed to be that good because there is like the meta and there is the condensed meta. What's the condensed meta? It's like the main 10 Pokemons that everyone's gonna use because the website built like the rank based on like the Pokemons that beat everything that's eligible, right? But there is like, you know, people only use 10 Pokemons in every cup. So these are like the top 2 according to PvPoke. What about you, Yasser? We like your Pokemons. We like the teams you built. The team I was using, and I remember this because this was the last time I played this team. And this literally I played this cup for 1 day. Second day my account get hacked. And I didn't play this team enough. Trevenant, Blastoise, and G-Fisk. Scrafty is an issue. Lose to 1 Talonflame. I said it's Signal. This team, like that team is what PvPoke recommend. Like if you go choose one, what's the best option? What's the best option? So the good thing about this team, yes, Scrafty is an issue, but Blastoise beats Scrafty in the 0. And Trevenant can beat Scrafty in the 2 if you call a bait. What if you don't call a bait? Well, if you fail to call a bait, catch on Blastoise. Because counter doesn't add up, Shadow Claw will add up on Scrafty. So technically, if you catch a move on Blastoise, you're gonna end up having like a very healthy Trevenant that will sweep later in the game. So it's not the end of the world. I like this team. What about Jellicent in the back? I remember I used to be Jellicent in the back because you get the Hydro Cannon at the same time they get to the Shadow Ball. So you get and you win CMP, so technically you threw 3 Hydro Cannons, they threw 3 Shadow Balls, they will be left with like 10% HP, and then I used to farm with Trevenant after, and then like Stunfisk just to sweep. I don't expect this team to perform as it used to, but it's a great team. And yeah, this is what I think is my favorite. Wolf Soria, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Dr. Toothbrush. Welcome in, my friend. We're doing the Ultra League Premier meta-analysis and the top teams. The meme team, which is basically 3 XL's Pokemons. If you remember, like, oh, what's the Yasser? what was like this team, what's the concept behind this team? And I always say just triple XL. This cup was where this meme started. Just run 3XLs. Like, this is a team. What's the concept? 3XLs. Jelly, Scrafty, G-Fisk. The team kind of struggle versus Drifloon, and this is why people made Drifloon, because it's the only Pokemon that give those three Pokemons like hard time. So yeah, 3XLs. Another team, 1, 2, 3XLs. So if you don't have the best team, you can just run 3XLs. A Como team that I liked, and it's a balanced team, basically good lead, safe swap, closer. I like this team, and I think I will try to play this team because I want to test out Double, and I believe that Double is a great Pokemon. I didn't check the Sims, but the moveset itself is already good enough. So technically, there is no obvious weakness for this team. Everything is manageable, and we have a closing potential. Oh, don't say, Memi. What do you think? Wait, what was your team? Charm? Double beats the Charmers. Swampert beat the Charmers, right? And no one lead the Charmers. Copium. Nidoqueen? Thinking about switching Swampert, but what to use? Walrein, always. Basically any anti-G-Fisk. You could use Jellicent, but with Bubble. Dragonite is a better dragon. Dragonite and Como literally serve the same concept, which is a Pokemon that can beat everything in neutral matchups. Como is bulkier, Dragonite hits harder. That's basically the difference. People were running triple normal team, I think, back in the days. There is no triple normal yet. Okay, I don't know. But those three normals are too solid and too good, so you can even run them together. If you like normal teams, run those. It's an ABB. And what do you do versus Crafty? You run quick attack here, so it's a neutral, and Double can beat Crafty. So these are like the main XL teams. Now I'm gonna mention like teams that were like very popular back in the days when this cup was a thing. Yeah, Como can farm down Dragonite without throwing a charge move. Dragonite cannot do that. So one of the teams that were very popular, like, the FP Sticks team. Why? I mean, FP Sticks like is a phenomenal player, amazing streamer, very popular content creator, right? So his team was everywhere because basically he's FP Sticks. So he used to play Venusaur with Stunfisk and Gallade. What does Gallade do? Gallade can win swap versus Talonflame if it's okay. So I made a mistake. It's non-Shadow Venusaur and Shadow Gallade, and Shadow Gallade can confusion down Talonflame in the 2 without throwing a charge move. So Gallade can win you swap back, but then Mandibuzz became a thing, and this team just died because you cannot beat Mandibuzz. So if you wanna play this team, I think you have to do it this way, like ABB, weak to Mandibuzz. If you don't see Mandibuzz in the lead, you go Venusaur and you beat it out. And then Venusaur can get to 2 Sludges, and like one Rock Slide will finish it, and then Gallade sweep. Another team that was... no, it wasn't popular, not gonna lie, because only 3 people knew it. The Pranav team, and people knew it from Bloody Bananas when he sniped Bloody Bananas. Nidoqueen, Kendra, Snorlax. It's a solid non-XL team because Pranav is very budget. Like, this team was basically Hundo, Lucky, Hundo. So, IV is not a thing. It doesn't exist on this team, but now you can use XL Kendra, you can use XL Nidoqueen. I mean, we can't mention the best teams in this cup without mentioning I Hit Legend with Slowbro by Inadequance. From twitch.tv/inadequance_. When he hit Legend with Slowbro. What about the other 2, Yasser? I don't know. He hit Legend with Slowbro. Okay. This team kind of weak to Scrafty. But he used to like get a shield advantage from his Mandibuzz or the Stunfisk. Then Slowbro with shield advantage can beat Scrafty and A9 in the back. And basically everyone had those. Like, everyone had Scrafty and like all those. What does he do if they have Jellicent in the back? Well, he bait it out with G-Fisk, and then Mandibuzz will finish it. And he was one of very few players who used to run Snarl Mandy just because his team is kind of ABB weak to it in the back. So the Snarl Mandy is needed, rather than it's the option to go. So the go-to team, Nido Double Dark. Remember, if you don't know what to do, you can always Nido Double Dark. You can literally run it in any order, like this. You can do this. Okay? You can literally do this team in any order, because order doesn't matter, because you're playing a stupid team that doesn't care about the typing, because this Pokemon is OP in this cup, this Pokemon is OP in this cup, this Pokemon is OP. You run Snarl Mandibuzz in this cup, okay? Don't run 8-slash. Why? You need Snarl Mandibuzz to beat the Stunfisk. Snarl and Dark Pulse, both together. Another honorable mention to a team that were Doombug used to run this team, and I have to mention it because he was the only one that used to run Pidgeot, and he used to run Pidgeot basically like this to bait out the Stunfisk, and less like it's a Dragalge lead, he safe swaps Pidgeot. Scrafty upside down doesn't even matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Scrafty in this cup is a beast, okay? Nothing beats Scrafty in this cup. And you will see, guys, you'll see how good Scrafty in this cup. Because Scrafty can beat Shadow Machamp if Scrafty has 2 counters lead. How does that happen? Well, if you lose swap, you farm down, you swap out, you lose swap intentionally, then you farm down, and then you get like a lead. Because whenever you're popped, Scrafty is so stupid that can beat Shadow Machamp. You can easily beat Shadow Machamp, I think, with 1 or 2 counters at max in the lead. Honorable mention also to the Wholesome _ team. It's basically the same team in every cup. If he can't use Amok, he uses Stunfisk. The core breakouts for this team, if Crimson is playing this team, these are the core breakouts. If Wholesome is playing this team, there is basically no core breakouts, because he's just very familiar with this team to the point where he can play any matchup. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. Shady Asian, I don't know where I get this picture from, but I have it here. Okay, I'm not gonna make another meme. I don't know where I get it from, but yeah. By this team, by Mr. Dialab. Make sure to check his Twitch at Dialab something on Twitch. He streamed like once a week. That's it. But yeah, he used to run Jellicent double fighters. So basically, if he doesn't see a Mandibuzz, if he doesn't see a Mandibuzz in the lead, he's good. If he see a Mandibuzz in the lead, he swapped to Shadow Machamp. And he runs Brave Bird, I think, on the Surfetch. Why? Because Mandibuzz is a huge issue for the Jellicent lead. And anything like Stunfisk is manageable, because technically you have 3 stuff, 2 stuff that hard counter it, 1 that is neutral, which was the main Pokemon. But A9 was a big threat to this team. So it's kind of like, you know, a risky team, but also very solid. You only need 1 XL Pokemon here, which is the Jellicent. Now the budget team, the only budget team I found, or I remember, is this team by Mr. Thotactical. This is, you can check his YouTube video 1 year ago. Destroy Charm with Roserade Typhlosion in Ultra League Remix. Pokemon Go Battle League. Yasher, Stunfisk is not budget. I know. But the most budget thing I can get you is 2 non-XL and 1 XL. Okay? And this team was actually very popular because he climbed very high. I think he hit 3500 MMR with this team. Excadrill is budget. No, don't use Excadrill. If you like I believe everyone, I mean not everyone, but at this point I'm expecting everyone to have a Stunfisk. Like, you cannot get more budget than this team or this team or this team. You have to have 1 XL at least, because every non-XL Pokemon needs shields. And if you don't have those shields, you're not going to win the game. So at least you need 1 Pokemon that doesn't need shields. Or you can just pull a CCO and play Scrafty Double Charm. You just tap your screen until the end of the game. I believe that's like the most the teams that I remembered the most, and the ones that I tried to make for stuff that were implemented new to the meta. I didn't mention Trevenant, Walrein, Core, because someone was complaining that I keep reminding people to use Trevenant Walreen. So I'm telling you, I'm not gonna say build any team about Trevenant Walreen. So you guys don't blame me anymore. So honorable mention, I didn't make any team about Gudra, Toxcroak, Obama Snow, Shadow Cantomuk, Kendra. I mean, we made a Planav one, K9. But all of these are like good Pokemons, but not the greatest of what the stuff they do. Like, as an example, what's the K9 good at? Beating Charmers and Trevenant. Well, you can do that with Nidoqueen and it's much easier, right? So yeah, stuff that I do not recommend using. No, you can use Dragonite, Gengar, Electivire, Durant. I tried Durant and it's so bad. And I have one built for some reason. Charizard, also don't try, it's so bad. Gyarados is so bad. Milotic is fine, but so bad. I put it here because the chat redeemed once play Milotic in this cup. And I literally couldn't beat anything with Milotic. There is literally no Pokemon that Milotic can beat in this cup. And yeah, special thank to Go Battle Log for providing me enough data to make this video possible. PvPoke, the amazing tools that they have. YTX Pikachu for giving me access to Go Battle Log, and MX Champ, aka Mish on Twitch, for helping me designing these slides. Yeah, this is the end of the video. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and see you in the next video. And by the way, you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/YasserElite. I stream every day. Either 3 p.m. Central Time or 8 p.m. Central Time. So yeah, I kind of have like a messed up schedule. And yeah, this is the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one.